all of these things are made up. Someone made them and someone put them there, and then they become part of how the place forms. And I think one of the things that I wanted to do is to leave those kind of loose edges. I'm Lucy Skaer. I'm a sculptor, and I also work in other mediums. I think of myself as a sculptor because mainly I'm thinking about objects in space and how people might move around them. It's a real privilege to put something on this college in this context that's going to be here for a long time. I'm quite often inspired by medieval things in particular. They're kind of right between being encoded and being really direct. I also really like images of animals and how different animals have been depicted, quite often by people who've never seen the actual creature. I wanted to work with the Enamel lion, but to tweak it and reinvent it for now. The artwork's part of the new development, but it's actually on an old building on Furness Lodge that faces onto Parker's Piece. I actually went to school at Parkside School, so I spent a lot of time very close to the college, but not necessarily inside the college. Part of my initial research was actually spending quite a lot of time in the college. I was looking at the grant of arms from 1588, I think, and also the benefactor's book, and I just looked at a lot of the different iterations of the Enamel lion. I really liked the original lion. It's a beautiful coloured object, and the red nails kind of reveal that one paw has got 4 claws and the other paw has got 5 claws. So I worked that into my design. I was also really inspired by the verbal description of a blue lion rampant on a silver field. I wanted to reveal something of how it was made, so that when you look at the lion, you can see that it's almost a sheet, like a fabric that's draped over a structure. So I began by making the structure and trying to make it fairly lion-like, but also retaining some of those things that I love about the medieval lions. There's also a certain kind of inventedness to it. I always work with the foundry by making my own waxes. I spent about a week working at the foundry. It's Powder Hall Bronze in Edinburgh who cast it. They're really open to working with artists in that way. There's a rough edge which is on the back of the lion, so I've left those kind of dynamic clues to how the work was made. The way that I've changed the coat of arms is to have the lion face out of the college, so it's looking out into Parker's Piece. And the wreath has been broken down into sections, and it's coloured and patinated to denote different seasons. The silver field is also bronze cast, and it's been chromed to give the silver appearance. I took some of the old bricks up to my studio to try to get the materials to blend. But you never actually know until it's in situ. So it was a nice moment yesterday when it felt like it belonged there. I think a lot of the piece has been about some kind of tension between authority and being proper, and playfulness and being inventive. Part of the meaning of the work for me is how even these very established things were at some point made up by someone, and I want people to see that they can also make things up and can also create the world around us. And to me, that's got a lot to do with inclusivity, how people can contribute to a place in different ways.